Hello, Stampers. This is Yana Smakula for My Favorite Things. Welcome back for another video tutorial. In this video, I have different style Christmas cards for you. One that's very clean and simple, and one that's a lot more dramatic. Both are using the same stamp set, the Maud and Mary set from MFT Stamps. The Maud and Mary set is small yet mighty. It features a modern graphic Christmas tree comprised of simple diagonal lines. The simplicity of the tree adds a ton to its versatility. To me, this stamp set screamed heat embossing, so I heat embossed the Christmas tree image in gold embossing powder. Now, the color of the background panel that you do your embossing on dictates the style of your card in a way. I did one on white cardstock and then one on colored cardstock for very different looks. Here, I used the teal cardstock panel. I treated it with my anti-static powder tool, and then I stamped the image of the tree, the star above the tree, and the sentiment below the tree in clear embossing ink using my Mini Misty stamping tool. The sentiment and the star come with the Maud Mary stamp set. Now, I love simple things, and this stamp set is right up my alley with all of the clean and simple lines. Next, I used my heat tool and I heat set the powder to melt it. If you are not into heat embossing, you can also do simple stamping in colored ink onto white paper. I tried stamping this image in green onto white cardstock and it looked amazing as well, making this set pretty good for mass producing Christmas cards. Now, if you are into creating with colored cardstock as much as I am, you can play with all of the various colors of cardstock that you have in your stash. Here, for example, I also did one panel on dark purple because, why not use purple for Christmas cards? I also did one panel in white on light teal. I didn't actually finish this one, but I wanted to show it to you as an example of how it looks in white. And I think it looks pretty great. And then even the simple gold on white looks amazing. Now, this stamp set lends itself to ink blending, and I've done two types of ink blending here to help the tree stand out. For my white panel, I ink blended the tree using two colors of green ink for a color-blocked tree. I used wide, low-tack tape, and I outlined the tree shape on my panel, so I basically masked the area around the tree. It is very easy to do as the tree is a simple triangle shape. You don't have to do any fussy cutting. You can just use tape. And then I ink blended the tree shape using light green ink. The diagonal tree lines meet in the center of the tree shape, creating an upside down V shape. Now you can ink blend your tree using one color of ink, or you can go a bit further and do some color blocking by adding a strip of tape down the middle and then ink blending one side of the tree using a darker green. It doesn't have to be green, by the way. You can make it a colorful pink or a colorful teal tree if you want. The point is, the shape is very easy to mask, so you can do any sort of linear ink blending that you want. You can even mask horizontal sections of the tree if you wanted to make the bottom part of the tree darker, for example, and then the top part lighter, or even use different colors throughout the tree altogether. The other way to do ink blending with this tree is actually super simple. It doesn't touch the tree shape at all. We are just adding ink around the edges of the panel, darkening them to bring the light to the center of the panel where the tree is positioned. Now, this is a super old trick, super old technique, adding ink blending around the edges, but it works every single time. So simply pick the ink color that's one shade darker for your ink blending. You can also use two colors of ink, one that's significantly darker and one that's just a shade darker to create a seamless blend. So for my white panel, I did ink blending off the tree, and then for my colored panels, I did not touch the tree, but I rather ink blended the cardstock, the panel, around the tree shape. With my panels finished, I trimmed them down slightly. Now the white one was trimmed to 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches, and then the colored panels were trimmed to 4 by 5 1/4 inches. I then used fun foam and foam mounted these panels onto A2 card bases. I used a white card base covered with gray cardstock for the green ink blended tree. And then I used colored cardstock card bases for the colored panels, and I matched the colors of the card bases to my panels. Now, the tree also lends itself to all sorts of decorations, of course. I mean, it's a Christmas tree. Surely you would want to decorate it. You can use various embellishments from your stash, and we all know that we have a lot of those. But if you want to keep things simple, perhaps, if you are mass producing this type of design, this type of card, because it is a very simple one to mass produce, and maybe if you want to keep this card flatter, you can go with glitter cardstock and circle die cuts. That's what I did. I just wanted to keep things simple. So we all have tiny circle dies in our stash, and we can easily make little bubble ornaments for these trees. So I die cut circles from various colors of glitter cardstock to match the colors of my tree. I used red, green, and teal for the green tree. And then the colored trees were embellished using matching baubles. I tried to go monochromatic, but it didn't work on every panel. So I used dark and light purple along with silver for my purple card, and then green and teal and silver for the teal card. I also added white pen dots onto my purple card just for fun. I wasn't sure if that would look good. I wasn't sure if I would like it. So I was kind of very cautious when adding the dots, but I did like it in the end. It added a little bit extra flair and whimsy to this card. And finally, I coated each of my die cut circles using glossy accents, making them look as beautiful Christmas ornaments on my tree. I did set the cards aside overnight to let the glossy accents dry, and then they were all nice and finished by the next morning. So that finishes my cards. I hope you feel inspired to create. If you make a card inspired by this video, we'd love it if you shared your project online and tagged us on social media. Thanks so much for joining us today. Love you guys, and I'll see you next time.